Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, great to be an Auburn Tiger War Eagle. Just doing another little quick card cast, some moving parts with Auburn actually landing some more folks on the transfer from the transfer portal. Now, a lot of fans seem to not be too thrilled about this, which on one hand, I think is absolutely ridiculous. On another hand, I totally understand, because when you look at some of the teams that Auburn has to compete against on a year-in, year-out basis that tend to recruit better than them, you tend to think that this whole transfer portal thing is Auburn getting a bunch of leftovers. Now, that could be the case. On another hand, you have to look at a situation that you call attrition. Okay, and you also have to look at the fact that you have a brand new coaching staff that have levels of schematics that might not particularly work with the players who are either there already or the players who have already left. And with the players who have already left, skill set or not, you have to have some level of depth to compete in high-end Power 5 football, which we tend to think Auburn plays in. So although I get it, I get the whole, hey, why are we using the transfer portal? Why are we doing this? Well, number one, you had a recruiting class in 2021 that just wasn't that good. I understand 19 was great. I think Brian Harsin did an excellent job of salvaging what was going to be an absolute disaster. However, you have to kind of sort of fill in the gap until you can get your own class. Now, I think when Gus Malzahn came on, there were probably a lot more transfers on that team than we give credit for. I just don't think it was as publicized as we do, as it is now, especially with the transfer portal making, the big news, so to speak. Because we want to know, when a person hits the transfer portal, the first thing we think, well, why are they leaving? Well, if you can leave, if you're not getting the opportunity that you want at the institution that you're at, why not? Why not give yourself an opportunity if somebody will take you in? So that's the flip side to the transfer portal. Just because you hit the transfer portal does not mean you're going to be accepted by another school. So that's the chance that you take. Or let's just say you do hit the transfer portal. There's no guarantee if, you go out and you try to step out on your own. There's no guarantee that your old team is just going to be waiting with open arms for you to come back. Say, hey, go out there and test the water, man, and see what you can possibly get into it. And hey, if it doesn't work out, you can always come back to us. It doesn't always work that way. I'm gonna tell you a guy you can ask. You probably ask Christian Tutt. Say, hey, how did that work for you, man? So I think fans have the right, obviously, to feel how they feel about the transfer portal. I think given the circumstances with Brian Harsin, it makes absolute sense, because you have to find a way to supplement all that has been lost. You have to also supplement which players in the transfer portal fit the schematics skill set wise as to where you can possibly have at least some level of immediate success. You got guys with experience. You have guys that, especially like, Tony Fair. I think that's a huge pick. Auburn is also looking at TJ Finley. Now, TJ Finley, the reason why I think he could potentially be a good fit for the Tigers is because he, you may think that he's a running quarterback, but no, this guy stays in the pocket almost to a fault. I remember in the Auburn versus LSU game, stayed in the pocket, and then he did some kind of crazy move to where he fumbled the ball. Christian Tutt runs it in for a touchdown, and at that point, that's when you knew that TJ Finley was rattled in that particular football game. He was actually never the same in that game after that play, because he was throwing some pretty decent darts to where it looked like he was going to keep LSU in the game. That was the game that really solidified that he just wasn't quite ready for, especially as good as Auburn's defensive line was playing at the time and things of that nature. But I don't think TJ Finley is necessarily a bad recruit on this transfer portal at all. I think he could really help supplement the quarterback position at Auburn. All right, so let me know what you think about the transfer portal. Let me know what you think about Auburn just continually dabbing into the transfer portal. I see a lot of crazy stuff on the All About Auburn Facebook page, and fans just not knowing how important Auburn being able to land these guys. Because, I'll roll the dice and say Gus Malzahn, a lot of these guys probably wouldn't even be on the table if Gus Malzahn was still at the helm. But that's neither here nor there, like my grandma used to say. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.